Fun fact, discovering your husband is cheating on you sucks. Discovering who the other woman is? That's a whole new level of, what fresh hell is this? My name is Ella Caldwell, 36 years old, living in Savannah, Georgia. You know, that charming southern city with the moss-covered trees and adorable historic squares where everyone waves at their neighbors and secretly judges your life choices over sweet tea. I'd been married to Alexander for 9 years. 9. We met at a 4th of July barbecue, fell stupidly in love, had that picture-perfect wedding with 150 guests where he promised to love me forever, and built what I genuinely believed was a solid life together. We had a daughter, Opal, who just turned 7 and still believes in fairy tales. Cute, right? Tuesday morning in November, I woke up early to finish a work presentation. My laptop had died the night before, because technology always picks the most inconvenient moment to betray you. So I grabbed Alexander's. No big deal. We're married. We share a house, a kid, a mortgage that makes me cry, and supposedly, we share trust. I opened the laptop. Messages were already up. iMessage, wide open, mid-conversation. And before my brain could even process what my eyes were seeing, Alexander came charging into the room like a linebacker who just spotted the opposing team's quarterback. He literally ripped the laptop out of my hands, face pale as a sheet, sweat pouring down his forehead like he'd just run the Peachtree Road race, and screamed, actually screamed, "You can't look at that!" You know that moment in a thriller when the music stops, and the protagonist realizes the killer was in the house all along? Yeah, that exact feeling. My coffee mug was still in my hand. I was wearing my ratty old Georgia Bulldogs t-shirt and pajama pants. It was 6:47 a.m., and my husband was having what appeared to be a full-blown panic attack over me touching his computer. "Alexander," I said, my voice ice-cold calm, the kind of calm that comes right before a Category 5 hurricane. "What's on that laptop?" "Nothing. It's work stuff. Confidential. Client information." He was stammering, clutching the MacBook to his chest like it contained state secrets. "You know I can't share that. Legal reasons. Here's the thing about being married to someone for almost a decade. You learn their tells better than a poker champion." Alexander touches his ear when he's nervous. He clears his throat when he's stalling. And he sweats through his expensive Brooks Brothers dress shirts when he's lying through his perfect teeth. He was doing all three. "Alexander Barrett Sinclair," I said, using his full name like I was his disappointed mother, which, honestly, I was about to become in the worst way possible. I saw messages. That wasn't a client email. That was iMessage, with heart emojis. His face went from pale to green. Like, actually green. I'd never seen someone look seasick on dry land before, but there's a first time for everything. "Ella, I can explain." "Oh, I'm sure you can." I stood up, set my coffee down carefully, because even in moments of life-altering chaos, I'm not about to ruin our cream-colored carpet, and crossed my arms. "Go ahead. Explain the heart emojis. Explain why you're sweating like you just committed a felony. Explain why my looking at your laptop is apparently grounds for a national emergency. But here's where it gets truly special. Because I had seen enough. Just those 3 seconds before he snatched it away. 3 seconds that burned into my retinas like staring at the sun. The name at the top of the chat wasn't Sarah from work, or Jessica the new hire, or even random woman I met at Starbucks. It said, Rosie. Rosie. My brain started processing in slow motion, like when you're in a car accident and time does that weird, stretchy thing. Rosie. Rosie. Who the heck is... And then it hit me like a freight train carrying a load of irony and family dysfunction. Rosalie. My sister. My baby sister. Rosalie Caldwell, 32 years old. The one I'd protected our entire lives. The one who lived exactly 2 streets over in our same gated community. The one who came over for dinner every single week. Who played with Opal every Sunday afternoon. Who I'd helped through 2 bad breakups and a quarter-life crisis. The same sister who was my maid of honor at my wedding. Who cried, actually cried, real tears, when I asked her to stand up with me. Who helped me pick out my dress at that bridal shop on Broughton Street. Who held my hand in the delivery room when Opal was born because Alexander was too squeamish to handle the medical stuff. That, Rosalie. It's not, Alexander started, but I held up my hand. Stop. Just stop. My voice was shaking now, but not from sadness. From pure, white-hot rage mixed with the kind of disbelief you feel when reality decides to go completely off the rails. Rosie. Your messages say Rosie with a heart emoji. That's my sister's nickname. Ella, please. How long? Silence. The kind of silence that answers the question before words ever could. How long? Alexander. 3 years. He whispered. 3 years. 3 Thanksgivings where we all sat around the same table. 3 Christmases where Rosalie gave us thoughtful presents and hugged me tight and told me she loved me. 3 years of birthday parties for Opal where they both smiled and cut cake and took family photos while I couldn't breathe. The room was spinning. 3 years. While I was working 60-hour weeks at the marketing firm to help pay for our dream house. While I was carpooling Opal to soccer practice and planning family vacations and meal prepping on Sundays. While I was being a wife, a mother, a sister, a daughter. Apparently, I was also being the world's biggest fool. Get out, I said quietly. Ella, get out of this room before I do something that'll make great courtroom drama. He left. Took the laptop with him. Probably went to delete evidence or warn his accomplice or, I don't know, update his LinkedIn to lying cheater expert level. I sat on the edge of our bed. The bed we'd picked out together at that furniture store in Atlanta. The bed where we'd conceived Opal. The bed where I'd believed we built a life. And started laughing. Not happy laughter. The kind of unhinged laughter that happens when your brain can't process the level of betrayal and decides humor is the only defense mechanism left. My husband was sleeping with my sister. For 3 years. Under my nose. In my life. Probably in my house when I was at work. And somehow I was supposed to what? Process this? Move forward? Pretend this was a normal Tuesday morning? Downstairs, I could hear Alexander on the phone, voice low and urgent, probably calling Rosalie, probably warning her that the jig was up, that the game was over, that their fun little secret affair just exploded like a bomb in a suburban Savannah subdivision. I picked up my phone, opened my messages, stared at the family group chat, Caldwell Crew, where Mom, Rosalie and I shared memes and planned dinners and pretended we were a normal, functional family. Oh, I had plans. Big plans. Because if they wanted to destroy this family, I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly who lit the match. But first, I needed to see this for myself. I needed to look my baby sister in her lying eyes and hear her try to explain how sleeping with my husband was somehow an accident. I grabbed my car keys. Tuesday morning traffic in Savannah is terrible, but rage is one hell of a motivator. Time to pay Rosalie a visit. And trust me, she wasn't going to like what was coming. The drive to Rosalie's house took exactly 4 minutes. 4 minutes of white-knuckle grip on the steering wheel. 4 minutes of my brain cycling through every family dinner, every holiday, every "I love you, sis" text message, recontextualizing my entire life like one of those psychological thriller movies where you find out the nice neighbor was actually the serial killer all along. Her car was in the driveway. A white Honda CR-V with a coexist bumper sticker, because apparently my sister believes in world peace but not in basic human decency. I didn't knock. I used the spare key she'd given me years ago for emergencies. This qualified. Ella? Rosalie appeared from her kitchen, coffee mug in hand, wearing yoga pants and an oversized sweater that said, "Namaste in bed." Her face went from confused to terrified in about half a second. What are you? Cut the act. I closed the door behind me. Locked it. Not threatening, just ensuring privacy for the conversation we were about to have. Alexander called you, didn't he? Warned you that I know? She set down the mug. Her hand was shaking. Good. Ella, I can explain. Oh, I'm dying to hear this. Please enlighten me. Explain how you accidentally ended up sleeping with my husband for 3 years. I walked into her living room, decorated with photos of us as kids. Photos from my wedding where she's beaming in her bridesmaid dress. A picture of her holding baby Opal in the hospital. The audacity. Actually, you know what? Let's do this properly. Let's go to Starbucks, because if I'm going to have the most humiliating conversation of my life, I might as well get a venti latte out of it. 20 minutes later, we were sitting in the Starbucks on Abercorn Street, tucked in a corner table. I'd ordered the most expensive drink on the menu out of spite. Rosalie looked like she was about to vomit, which was fitting because I felt the same way. "So," I said, stirring my overpriced caramel macchiato. "Talk." "It wasn't planned," Rosalie started, eyes red like she'd been crying. The audacity of her crying. It just happened. It just happened. For 3 years. Multiple times a week, I'm assuming. Did it just happen on Tuesdays when I was at yoga? Or Thursdays when I had late meetings? Help me understand the logistics of an accidental 3-year affair. Ella, please. No, seriously, I'm curious. Because affairs usually just happen once. Maybe twice if you're particularly weak-willed. But 3 years? That's not just happening. That's making a conscious choice roughly 1,000 times to betray your sister. She was crying now. Real tears streaming down her face. The same face that looked so much like mine that strangers used to ask if we were twins. We had the same nose, same chin, same Caldwell family cheekbones. And apparently, we also shared the same taste in men. How lovely. I love him, she whispered. I actually laughed. That same unhinged laugh from this morning. A woman at the next table glanced over nervously. I didn't care. You love him. Oh, that makes it so much better. Here I thought you were just a terrible person, but no, it's true love. How romantic. Like a Hallmark movie, except the plot is, woman destroys sister's life, claims emotional justification. You don't understand what it's like to be with him, Rosalie said. And I swear to God she actually looked offended. Like I was the one being unreasonable here. I was married to him, Rosalie, for 9 years. I literally understand better than anyone on this planet what it's like to be with him. I know he snores. I know he can't cook to save his life. I know he cries during Pixar movies and pretends he doesn't. I know everything about him because I'm his wife. He said you two were having problems. Oh, did he? I leaned forward. Did he tell you that before or after he kissed me goodbye this morning and told me he loved me? Before or after he helped Opal with her homework last night? Before or after we planned our Christmas vacation to Charleston last week? Rosalie looked down at her untouched coffee. Her hands were wrapped around the cup, and that's when I noticed it. She was showing. Not obviously. Not in a way that strangers would notice. But I knew my sister's body. We'd gone shopping together, swam together, shared clothes growing up. Her stomach had that subtle roundness that wasn't just bloating or weight gain. My blood went cold. Rosalie, I said slowly, my voice deadly quiet. Are you pregnant? The silence stretched. In that Starbucks, with the espresso machine hissing and some indie folk song playing overhead, and people typing on laptops completely unaware that my life was imploding, my sister looked at me with guilt-ridden eyes and nodded. 4 months, she whispered. 4 months. I did the math instantly. July. She got pregnant in July. Right around the time we had that family beach trip to Tybee Island, the one where we all stayed in that rental house together, where Alexander and Rosalie volunteered to do a grocery run and came back 3 hours later laughing about traffic. You're having my husband's baby. It wasn't a question, just a statement of fact that sounded insane even as I said it. You're pregnant. With Alexander's child, while he's still married to me, while his daughter, your niece, thinks her aunt is her favorite person in the world. Ella, I'm so sorry. Stop. Stop saying you're sorry. You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught. I stood up, grabbed my purse. You know what the really messed up part is? I defended you. Last year when you got fired from that marketing job, I told Mom you were right to stand up to your boss. When Derek dumped you, I drove 2 hours to Atlanta to key his car with you. When you said you were struggling financially, Alexander and I loaned you $5,000 that you never paid back. $5,000, Rosalie, that we gave you, that we worked for, money that probably funded your little love nest adventures. She was sobbing now, full body shaking sobs. People were definitely staring. I didn't care. Let them stare. Let them witness this train wreck. I need you to understand something, I said, leaning down so only she could hear me. You didn't just betray me. You betrayed Opal. You looked my 7-year-old daughter in the eyes every Sunday and pretended to be her aunt while carrying on an affair with her father. That's not love. That's sociopathic. What are you going to do? Rosalie asked, voice small. I smiled. Not a happy smile. The kind of smile sharks probably have right before they bite. I'm going to tell Mom, and then I'm going to tell everyone. Because you wanted my life so badly? Congratulations, sis. You can have Alexander. But you're going to get the full package, including the part where everyone knows exactly what kind of person you are. I walked out of that Starbucks with my head high, leaving my sister sobbing into her cold coffee. My phone buzzed. A text from Alexander. Please, can we talk? I deleted it, because talking time was over. Now? Now it was time for action. And I had 3 weeks until Thanksgiving. 3 weeks to plan something spectacular. 3 weeks until my entire family would be gathered in one place, expecting the traditional Caldwell Thanksgiving dinner. And guess who was still scheduled to host? This was going to be the most memorable holiday dinner in family history. I was going to make sure of it. I didn't go home. Couldn't face Alexander yet. Couldn't trust myself not to do something that would look really bad in a courtroom. Instead, I drove to my mother's house in the historic district. One of those beautiful Savannah row houses with the brick facade and window boxes that tourists photograph constantly. Mom was in her garden, trimming her prized azaleas, wearing her gardening gloves and that wide-brimmed hat she bought at some church fundraiser. She looked up when I pulled into her driveway, and I saw it immediately. The flash of panic in her eyes before she composed her face into a smile. She knew something. Ella, what a lovely surprise. I wasn't expecting... Mom, I cut her off, walking across the perfectly manicured lawn. We need to talk. Inside. Now. Her smile faltered. Honey, is everything okay? Does it look like everything's okay? I gestured to myself, still in my pajama pants and ratty t-shirt from this morning, hair unbrushed, probably looking like I'd just survived a natural disaster, which, emotionally speaking, I had. Inside, please. We sat in her living room, surrounded by family photos. Rosalie and me as kids. Our wedding photos, both mine and Dad's before he passed 5 years ago. Opal's baby pictures. A shrine to a family that was currently burning to the ground. I know about Alexander and Rosalie, I said flatly, watching her face. Mom's teacup rattled against the saucer. That was all the confirmation I needed. But what she said next absolutely destroyed me. Oh, honey. She set down her tea with shaking hands. I was hoping you wouldn't find out. The room started spinning. You knew? Ella, please understand. How long? My voice cracked. How long have you known that my husband and my sister were having an affair? Mom looked down at her lap, twisting her wedding ring, the one Dad gave her 40 years ago. 6 months. Rosalie told me 6 months ago. She was terrified, didn't know what to do. 6 months? I stood up, pacing her oriental rug like a caged animal. You've known for half a year and didn't tell me? We've had dinner together. Family game nights. I cried to you about work stress last month and you hugged me and said everything would be okay. And the whole time you knew my husband was sleeping with my sister? I wanted to tell you, Mom said, tears forming in her eyes. But Rosalie begged me not to. She said she would end it. She promised. And you believed her? Mom, she's pregnant. 4 months pregnant. That means she got pregnant after she told you, while you were keeping this secret from me. Mom's face went white. She's pregnant? Oh, you didn't know that part. Yeah, surprise. You're going to be a grandmother again. Congratulations. Must be so exciting for you. Ella, that's not fair. What's not fair? I said, my voice dangerously quiet. Is that my own mother chose to protect the daughter who's destroying my life instead of the daughter who did nothing wrong. What's not fair is that you watched me parent Opal, work 60-hour weeks, try to be a good wife, all while knowing my entire marriage was a lie. You're the strong one, Mom said weakly. You've always been the strong one. Rosalie is fragile. She's sensitive. So I'm being punished for not being a terrible person? I laughed bitterly. That's your logic? Rosalie gets protection and sympathy because she's fragile, but I get betrayed because I'm strong? That's not how parenting works, Mom. That's not how anything works. What are you going to do? Mom asked, and there was fear in her voice. I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman who'd raised me, taught me right from wrong, took me to church every Sunday and preached about honesty and integrity. This woman who'd just admitted to lying to my face for 6 months to protect my backstabbing sister. I'm going to tell everyone, I said simply. Thanksgiving is in 3 weeks. I'm still hosting, like we planned. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows the truth. Ella, please don't do this. Don't tear the family apart. I'm not tearing anything apart, Mom. Rosalie did that when she decided to sleep with my husband. Alexander did that when he cheated on his wife with her sister. You did that when you chose sides. I'm just making sure everyone else knows what I know. That's called honesty. You used to value that, remember? I left before she could respond, got in my car, drove, and started planning. Here's what nobody tells you about betrayal. Once you're on the other side of shock, once the initial devastation passes, there's this cold, crystal clear clarity. Like someone turned on all the lights in a dark room and suddenly you can see everything. I went to the AT&T store and got a new phone, transferred my number, left Alexander's family plan. The young guy helping me asked if I was okay, and I smiled, that shark smile, and said, "Never better." Then I went home. Our home. The home I'd decorated, maintained, filled with love and laughter and memories that were now contaminated. Alexander was sitting at the kitchen table, head in his hands. Ella, thank God. We need to talk. We do, I agreed pleasantly. Too pleasantly. But first, I need you to unlock your phone. What? Your phone. Unlock it. Give it to me. He hesitated. That was his first mistake. Alexander, you have 2 choices. You can give me your phone right now, voluntarily, or I can call my lawyer. Yes, I already contacted one this morning, and we can do this the hard way. Your choice. He unlocked it, handed it over. I spent the next hour screenshotting everything. Every message with Rosie. Every I love you. Every explicit photo, which I didn't look at closely because I valued my sanity. Every plan they made. Every lie he told me to cover for their meetings. 3 years of evidence, all neatly documented. I airdropped everything to my new phone, backed it up to the cloud, sent copies to my personal email. What are you doing? Alexander asked, voice small. Protecting myself, I said. Georgia considers adultery in divorce proceedings, especially when it's this well documented. You've been very thorough, actually. Almost like you wanted to get caught. I never meant to hurt you. But you did. For 3 years. Repeatedly. With my sister. In my house, yes, I found hotel receipts in your email too. The Bohemian Hotel, really? That's where we spent our 5th anniversary. He flinched. I'm going to pick up Opal from school. I continued calmly, gathering my purse. You're going to pack a bag and leave. Go stay with Rosalie, maybe. I hear she has room now that she's carrying your child. Ella, please. Oh, and Alexander? Don't skip Thanksgiving. Mom's house, 3 weeks from today, 2 p.m. Traditional Caldwell family dinner. Be there, both of you. It's important. The look on his face was priceless. Confusion mixed with fear. Good. He should be afraid. That night, after tucking Opal into bed, she asked where Daddy was, and I said he had a work trip. Buying myself time to figure out how to explain this nightmare to a 7-year-old, I opened my laptop, created a new PowerPoint presentation. Title slide, A Caldwell Family Thanksgiving, The Truth About Gratitude. I worked for 3 days straight. Between school pickups and work meetings and pretending my life wasn't falling apart, I built the most comprehensive presentation of betrayal you've ever seen. Slide 2, Timeline of the affair, with dates cross-referenced to family events. Christmas 2022. While Ella was cooking dinner, Alexander and Rosalie were in the guest room. Slide 3 to 15, message screenshots, carefully edited to remove anything inappropriate for a family audience, but leaving in all the I love yous and planning. Slide 16, Photos I found in Alexander's hidden folder. Nothing explicit, but enough. Them at restaurants. Them at that beach trip. Them looking at each other the way couples in love look. Slide 17. Financial records showing hotel charges, gift purchases, money transferred to Rosalie's account from our joint savings. Slide 18. Baby announcement. Alexander and Rosalie are expecting. Due date, March. Conception date, July. You know, during our family beach vacation. Final slide. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's be grateful for honesty. I practiced my delivery, timed it, made notes, and I felt nothing but cold satisfaction. 3 weeks until Thanksgiving. 3 weeks until 23 members of our extended family would gather expecting turkey and stuffing. They were going to get so much more than that. Thanksgiving Day arrived with perfect weather. 70 degrees. Sunny. Not a cloud in sight. Even God was setting the stage for drama. I'd spent the morning cooking like nothing was wrong. Turkey in the oven by 8 a.m. Sweet potato casserole, green bean almondine, pecan pie, cornbread dressing, all the traditional Caldwell family recipes, prepared with meticulous care and simmering rage. Opal helped me set the table. She'd been staying with me full-time while Alexander crashed at some extended stay America, because Rosalie's one-bedroom apartment apparently wasn't big enough for him, which ironic. My daughter had no idea what was coming. I'd told her daddy was working a lot. She believed me because 7-year-olds still think their parents tell the truth. The family started arriving at 1:30 p.m. Uncle Warren and Aunt Diane, Cousin Brett with his wife and 3 kids, Mom's sister Patricia and her husband, my dad's brother George and his partner Michelle, neighbors from church, friends who'd become family. The house filled with laughter and hugs and something smells amazing, and absolutely zero awareness that they were about to witness a family implosion. Alexander arrived at 1:45 p.m., looking like he hadn't slept in weeks. Good. Rosalie showed up at 2 p.m. exactly, wearing a loose, flowy dress that hit her stomach, holding a store-bought pumpkin pie like that somehow made up for destroying my life. She couldn't meet my eyes. Mom came last, looking nervous. She'd called me 6 times over the past 3 weeks, trying to convince me not to do anything rash. I'd ignored every call. "Ella, sweetheart," Mom cornered me in the kitchen while I carved the turkey. "Please think about what you're doing." "Oh, I've thought about it." I smiled brightly. "For 3 weeks, I've thought about almost nothing else. This will destroy the family." "The family was already destroyed, Mom. I'm just making sure everyone gets the memo." At 2:30 p.m., everyone gathered in the dining room and living room. Too many people for one table, so we'd set up the folding table too, like we did every year. Traditional Caldwell chaos. Kids running around, adults catching up. The TV in the living room showing the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on mute. Perfect. I stood up, tapping my wine glass with a knife. Everyone quieted down. "Thank you all for coming," I said warmly. "Before we eat, I wanted to share something. As we all know, Thanksgiving is about gratitude, being thankful for what we have. And this year, I'm especially grateful for truth." I saw Alexander's face go pale. Rosalie looked like she might faint. Mom was gripping her napkin so hard her knuckles were white. So I made a little presentation. I pulled out my laptop, connected it to our TV. A celebration of family, of togetherness, of honesty. Uncle Warren chuckled. "Ella, you and your work presentations. Always the professional." If only he knew. Title slide appeared. A Caldwell Family Thanksgiving, The Truth About Gratitude. Click. Slide 2. Let's talk about the past 3 years. The timeline appeared. Dates, events, family gatherings cross-referenced with hotel receipts and message timestamps. "You see," I continued conversationally, like I was presenting quarterly sales figures, "while we've all been gathering as a family, celebrating holidays, birthdays, regular Sunday dinners, 2 members of this family have been celebrating something else entirely." Click. Message screenshots. I'd carefully selected the ones that were devastating but not explicit. "I love you more than anything. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Ella will be at work until 6. We have time." The room was silent. Dead silent. Even the kids stopped running around. That's… Aunt Diane squinted at the TV. Is that Alexander's number? It is, I confirmed cheerfully. And look at who he's messaging. That contact name says Rosie with a heart. Rosie. Now, who in this family goes by Rosie? All eyes turned to Rosalie, who was crying. Already crying, and we'd barely started. Click. Photos. Alexander and Rosalie at restaurants. At the beach during our family vacation. In his car. Looking very much not like brother-in-law and sister-in-law. 3 years, I said, my voice still eerily calm. 3 Thanksgivings. 3 Christmases. 3 years of my husband sleeping with my sister while I gestured to myself, worked 60-hour weeks, raised our daughter, hosted every family dinner, and played the role of the world's biggest fool. Ella. Alexander stood up, but Uncle Warren put a hand on his shoulder and pushed him back down. Sit down, son, Warren said quietly. Let her finish. Click. Financial records, hotel charges, gifts, money transfers to Rosalie from our joint savings account. And here's where it gets really special, I continued. Anyone want to guess where that $5,000 we loaned Rosalie last year actually went? Anyone? No? Okay, I'll tell you. Weekend getaways, nice dinners, a bracelet I found the receipt for, which she wore to my birthday party, by the way. Thank you, sis. Really thoughtful. Rosalie was full-on sobbing now. Mom was staring at the floor. Alexander looked like he wanted to disappear into the hardwood. Click. But wait, there's more. We have a special announcement. The slide showed a baby sonogram. Alexander and Rosalie are expecting. Congratulations! The baby's due in March, which means conception happened in July. You all remember our family beach trip to Tybee Island in July? The one where we all shared that rental house? Yeah, that one. Aunt Patricia gasped. Dear Lord. Oh, and here's my personal favorite part, I said, turning to look at my mother. Mom knew. For 6 months. Mom knew and didn't tell me because Rosalie is fragile and I'm strong. Isn't that sweet? My own mother chose to protect the daughter destroying my life instead of warning the daughter who did nothing wrong. Mom's face crumpled. Ella, I'm so sorry. Save it. I turned back to the room. Now I know what you're all thinking. Why am I doing this? Why not handle it privately? Well, because they didn't handle it privately. They conducted their affair in my house, during my family events, in front of my daughter. So everyone who participated in Sunday dinners while they sneaked off together, everyone who attended holidays while they played footsie under the table, everyone who smiled for family photos while they were hooking up, you all get to know the truth. You all get to decide who you want to associate with going forward. I closed the laptop. Silence. Then Cousin Brett stood up. Alexander, get out. Brett, Alexander started. Get out of this house, now. You don't get to sit here and eat Ella's food after what you did. Uncle Warren stood too. He's right. And Rosalie, you should go too. But Rosalie looked around desperately for support. Found none. I think, Aunt Diane said coldly, you've done enough damage. Both of you. Leave. They left. Alexander grabbed his coat. Couldn't even look at Opal, who thank God was upstairs watching a movie with her cousins, spared from this part. Rosalie tried to approach me, but I held up my hand. Don't. Just don't. They left through the front door. I heard Alexander's car start, drive away, and then Aunt Patricia stood up and hugged me. Then Brett. Then Warren. Then everyone except my mother, who sat at the table crying, realizing she'd chosen the wrong daughter to protect. We ate Thanksgiving dinner. It was awkward, sure, but also strangely liberating. People told me I was brave, strong, that I deserved better. Uncle Warren offered to accidentally flatten Alexander's tires. I declined, but appreciated the thought. Mom tried to talk to me before she left. Ella, please. I need time, I said. A lot of time. Maybe forever. I don't know yet. She left crying. The aftermath was swift and brutal. I filed for divorce Monday morning. Georgia law considers adultery in divorce proceedings. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Margaret who'd been through her own divorce, took one look at my evidence and smiled. Oh, honey, she said. We're going to destroy him. She wasn't wrong. I got the house, full custody of Opal. Alexander agreed immediately, probably out of guilt, maybe because he knew fighting it would mean all that evidence becoming public court record. Generous alimony. Child support that actually covered, the cost of raising a child. But the best part? The part that still makes me smile 2 years later? I emailed the PowerPoint to every single mutual contact we had. Every friend, every colleague, every member of our church. I posted a carefully worded version to Facebook. After discovering my husband's 3-year affair with my sister, I'm moving forward with my life. Thank you to everyone who supported me. For those asking what happened, the truth is available upon request. 67 people requested it. I sent it to all of them. Alexander's reputation? Destroyed. His big commercial real estate firm? Let him go quietly 3 months later. Turns out clients don't love working with guys who cheat on their wives with their sisters-in-law. Bad for business. The church we attended, Savannah Methodist on Bull Street, had a meeting. They voted. Unanimously agreed that Alexander and Rosalie should seek spiritual guidance elsewhere. Church politics are brutal, and small southern cities have long memories. Rosalie had her baby in March. A boy. She named him Carter, which I only know because Aunt Patricia told me. Apparently he has the Caldwell nose, which is just karma being visually poetic. And here's the final twist, the cherry on top of this disaster Sunday. 8 months after they got together officially, after the divorce was final and the baby was born, Alexander got caught cheating on Rosalie. With someone else. Some woman he met at a Starbucks. Once a cheater, always a cheater, sis. You should have paid attention to the warning signs. Oh wait, you were the warning sign. They broke up. Messy, public, lots of social media drama I watched with popcorn and wine. Rosalie tried crawling back to the family. Found out that actions have consequences. Half the family cut her off completely. The other half maintains what I call polite distance. They're civil at weddings and funerals, but she doesn't get invited to Sunday dinners anymore. Mom calls every month, leaves voicemails. Please, Ella, I made a mistake. Please forgive me. I haven't answered. Maybe someday. Maybe never. I'm still deciding. So here we are, 2 years later. Thanksgiving, and I'm hosting again. But this time, it's different. Better. Authentic. I'm 38 now. Opal is 9. Thriving in therapy. Because yes, watching your family implode is traumatic, and I'm not one of those parents who pretends kids don't need professional help. She asks about Alexander sometimes. He gets her every other weekend, per the custody agreement. She asks about Rosalie less. About my mother even less than that. Smart kid. The house is mine. Fully, legally, beautifully mine. I repainted every room. Goodbye to the beige Alexander insisted was sophisticated. Hello to the deep teal and warm terracotta I always wanted. I ripped out the carpet in the master bedroom, too many bad memories, and installed hardwood. Redecorated with things I actually like instead of things that looked good for company. Turns out, when you remove the lying cheater from your life, you have a lot more money and significantly less stress. Who knew? Work is good. Great, actually. That presentation I was working on the morning I discovered my husband's betrayal. Nailed it. Got promoted 6 months later. Senior marketing director now, leading a team of 12, making almost double what I made back then. Funny how much energy you have for your career when you're not wasting it trying to save a marriage that was dead for 3 years without you knowing it. I started dating again about a year ago. Nothing serious at first, just remembering what it felt like to be desired, appreciated, actually seen. Then I met James at a work conference in Atlanta. He's a graphic designer, funny, kind, doesn't have any sisters for me to worry about, only child, thank God. He knows the whole story. I told him on our 3rd date, figured it was better to lay it all out there. He listened, didn't judge, and said, "Well, at least you know exactly what you won't tolerate anymore." He's right. I have a very clear list now. Opal likes him. That's huge. She's cautious around new people now, another gift from her father's betrayal. But James is patient. Doesn't try to replace Alexander, doesn't overstep. Just shows up consistently, which apparently is all anyone really wants. The family has fractured and reformed. Uncle Warren still calls me every Sunday. Aunt Diane invites us to dinner monthly. Cousin Brett's kids consider Opal their favorite cousin. We've built something smaller but infinitely more solid than what we had before. Quality over quantity. Half the extended family chose sides. Some chose Rosalie's, believe it or not. Mostly older relatives who think family forgives everything and everyone makes mistakes. I don't talk to them anymore. Their choice, my peace. Rosalie sends texts sometimes, usually around holidays or Opal's birthday. I'm sorry. I miss you. Can we talk? I don't respond. Maybe that makes me cold. Maybe that makes me smart. I haven't decided, and honestly, I don't care enough to analyze it. Her life isn't great, from what I hear through the family grapevine. Single mom, working 2 jobs, living in a small apartment. Alexander pays child support, court-ordered, but isn't particularly involved with Carter. Shocking absolutely no one. She wanted my life so badly. Hope it was worth it. Alexander got remarried last year. Wife number 2 is 29, works in his new office. He's at a smaller firm now, significantly less prestigious. I give it 3 years before she finds his messages with wife number 3. Patterns don't break themselves. Mom. That's complicated. She sent 47 voicemails over 2 years. I counted. I've listened to exactly 3. She wants forgiveness. Wants to be a family again. Wants to explain how hard it was for her, being caught in the middle. Here's the thing about forgiveness that nobody tells you. It's not actually required. We're raised to believe that forgiving people is noble, necessary, healing. But sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is acknowledge that someone hurt you, that they don't deserve access to you anymore, and move forward without them. I don't wish bad things for my mother. I just don't wish to include her in my life. Maybe that changes someday. Maybe it doesn't. I'm okay with either outcome. Opal asks about her grandmother occasionally. I tell her the truth, age-appropriate version. Grandma made choices that hurt Mommy very much. Sometimes people we love make choices that mean we need space from them to stay healthy. She seems to understand. 9-year-olds are more emotionally intelligent than we give them credit for. This Thanksgiving, 21 people are coming to my house. Not blood family. Chosen family. Friends who showed up when everything fell apart. Colleagues who became confidants. Neighbors who brought casseroles and wine and shoulders to cry on. James and his parents. Uncle Warren's crew. My therapist would be proud of the boundaries I've established and the community I've built. We'll eat turkey and stuffing. We'll laugh. We'll be genuinely grateful. Not performatively grateful like those old Thanksgivings where everyone pretended everything was fine while rot festered underneath. And I'll look around my table and realize, this is what I was actually thankful for all along. Not the picture-perfect family. Not the Instagram-worthy moments. Not the performance of happiness. Just real people. Real love. Real loyalty. Here's what I've learned, and I wish someone had told me this earlier. Some bridges aren't worth rebuilding. Some you burn and toast marshmallows over the flames. And some people will show you exactly who they are. The key is believing them the first time instead of making excuses for them. Family isn't blood. Family is who stays when the ship is sinking. Family is who tells you the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Family is who shows up, consistently, without conditions. Betrayal doesn't break you. It reveals you. Shows you what you're actually made of when the facade crumbles and you're left standing in the wreckage. And sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate schemes or public humiliation. Though I'll admit, that PowerPoint was deeply satisfying. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well, building better, choosing wisely, refusing to let other people's failures define your worth. Opal asked me last week if I was happy. Really happy. Not just telling people you're fine, happy. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, baby, I told her. I really am. And I meant it. Life lesson: trust your gut. Watch for the warning signs. And if someone shows you they're willing to betray the person closest to them, believe them, because you'll be next. But most importantly, you're not what happened to you. You're what you do after. And I chose to thrive. Happy Thanksgiving indeed.